You ever wonder how your favorite creators get these cinematic photos? Well, I don't gatekeep, and I'm gonna show you how to do it in literal seconds. If you're relatively new to content creation like me, it can be a very tedious process. You have to make sure your person is in focus. You gotta make sure the exposure's right. You gotta make sure the lighting's right. On and on and on and on. And after all that, you still have to edit them and give your photos your own personal touch. So let me show you the fastest way to do this so you can have cinematic photos. Dehancer now has their own standalone app, so let's jump into it. When opening the app is very similar to Lightroom, so just drag and drop your photos. I chose some photos from my recent trip to Hawaii vlog. It's on the way, so be sure you sub. You don't want to miss that. I did this edit in literal seconds, but I want to walk you guys through how I did it so y'all can have a better understanding when you decide to edit your photo. So first, we're gonna start with raw settings. For me, I chose Apple just because Apple looked better and more pleasing to me. You know, when you edit photos and everything, it's really just about your preference and what you think. The crop feature is pretty cool. You could adjust it based on the social media. You can see the aspect ratio and everything. But I'm gonna keep it how it is because I really feel like this photo helps you feel submerged in the environment. Now I'm gonna hit film profile. I'm gonna select the box on the right, and it gives you all of these different type of options to choose from film type, and you have all of these different options for the profile look. So for this photo, let's go with Kodak and press 50. We're gonna go with that one. I really wish you could go in here because once you find a favorite one, I wish you could just type it in. But you know, you have to scroll through every single time. So close that, go to film developer. Let's select film developer, open that. And then we just play around with the colors. You just go until you find something that looks good to you. So let's go 1474, go 1632. I feel like that's starting, that looks decent, that looks decent. We'll leave color separation at 100 and we'll put color boost around 12. So now after film developer, we go into film compression. You'll select the box on the right and you can see also how it'll look unselected. Select it, unselected. So let's turn that on. We'll go impact. We're just gonna turn that down a little bit. Not nothing crazy, not nothing crazy. Around there, let's go. Put the white point down to 77. I feel like just a tad bit more. There we go. Tonal range, we could just gonna mess with it a little bit, not too much, not nothing crazy. There we go. So that's tonal range, and after that, color density, we're gonna leave color density as is. So close that. Let's go into expand, turn it on, open it up. This is when you get to play around your black and white points. So we're gonna move the black point just a tad bit because you can see the photo, it's just a tad bit dark. So we only gonna move it around a little bit. And then we're gonna turn the white point down just to enhance some of the, you can see the brightness in the photo. So we're just gonna turn it down some because it's kind of a bright photo if you ask me, just with the clouds and the lighting outside. So let's put it down to around 80, 89, 68. How that looking, y'all? Let me know how y'all think that looks so far. Print. You can scroll around, you can see how print look. I like print sometimes. It really just depends. But for this photo, we're gonna use print. So we're gonna put it on Kodak 2383 print film. And then we just play around with the exposure, the tonal contrast, and everything just a little bit more. Also, I wish you could select on the sides. You can't select the number, you know? So I wish you could do that, like how you do in Adobe, but it's okay because they just started the app. So I'm sure that'll be something that they do with the new update. So we're just gonna turn the exposure down a tad bit. And I like how it's starting to turn out. So we're just gonna leave that as is. We don't wanna do too much to the photo because I don't shoot in RAW. Like I said, I'm trying to show you guys as a beginner how you could get, you know, cinematic film looks real quick and easy. I literally did this super quick already, y'all. I think y'all could agree. So color head, I don't play around with color head, but you can click on it. You can see you could adjust the yellows and the blues. You could do that, magentas. But like I said, I don't like to mess around with color head. Not all the time. I mean, there's a time and place for it. Also film grain. I like to add a little bit of film grain to photos just because it gives it that old school type of look, you know what I mean? So let's play around with this a little bit. Let's move it. I don't want anything too much, y'all know? I feel like we could go there with that. Move the amount up, which is really nice because you can see how it looks like really, really old school. And then you can kind of take it away and just looks very subtle. But we're gonna go with it around 21, just a little bit up from the 20 that it starts at. Resolution, we're gonna turn it down a bit. There we go. And then shadows, you get to play around with the shadows. You see the brightness and the darkness. Move shadows down a bit. Let's move it super low. I'm gonna move that to around 11. And then we're going to move the midtones down as well. There we go, move the midtones down. Also, let's turn the highlights down. So everything, look, we just turned it down a little bit. So there we go. And we can put the highlights up just a tad bit more, around there. There we go. So we can go ahead and close that, highlights. So now after that, we're gonna go into highlights. We're gonna turn that on. We're gonna turn the source limiter up just a decent amount, around 74-ish. See, another reason, because it gets so tough to move the needle. That's why I wish you could just type in the number you're looking for, especially when you do other edits and you just want to change some things and not have the whole preset. It's just like, I just want to move this down and this up, you know what I mean? Like here and this, like I actually have to click there to move it down, but even then you can't be as precise as you want, you know? But we're gonna turn background gain down to around 15, smoothness to 0.53, put local diffuser down just a tad bit, move that to 13. Global diffuser, we'll move that up some. And then amplify, we'll just move that down a tad bit to like 30. I feel like 30 looks good. Hue, I like to play around with colors. We'll turn the hue up. Blue, we'll move that up just a tad bit as well. And then impact, we're gonna leave the impact as is. So let's go ahead, close halation, and we'll move into bloom. I really like bloom because it gives it that subtle glow that you look for sometimes around some of the objects. Highlights for bloom, we'll move that around way lower. Let's think like 12 some. There we go. Source limiter, we'll move that up. Details, we'll move that to just down a tad bit. There we go, I think that's cool. Yeah, and then also you could click this little circle eye icon. See how it looks off, on, off, on. And to be fair, this photo was shot pretty well, if you ask me, and just needs subtle enhancements, but sometimes you just want to make it look more old-timey, you know, just to give a different vibe for your audience. So diffuser, we'll move diffuser up to around 89. And then amplify, let's amplify. We're gonna move this all the way up to not 100 completely, but to like 98. We'll leave save lights and saturation as is, and we'll also leave impact as is. So we go ahead, close that. And then film damage, I didn't do film damage on this photo, but you can see how it looks when it comes to, you know, the little dots that show up. You could, look, we can move them back up. And you can see the scale. You can make them more of them, make them slightly bigger. You can make them a little bit less. You can do the size balance, and that's how you make it bigger. So scale gives you more, size balance make them bigger. But this photo, I didn't use any film damage at all. Overscan, I like overscan with some things. It just gives it that film look. They have all of the typical options that overscan will have. Whereas like these ones, this one, let me see. There's one that makes it feel like it's in a movie. This one makes it feel like it's in a movie, just for me, in my perspective, you know. You can go neat round the corners out a little bit more. You could go sharp, have pointy ends. Or you do neat normal where it's like a little in between. And turn it off. But I think overscan, there's no point in using overscan if you're gonna turn it off, in my opinion. But just so y'all can see it, we make it horizontal, which I feel like is pretty unique. Vertical. And then positive, you know, just change the color, it makes it white instead of black. But for this photo, I didn't use any overscan, so we'll turn that off. Also vignetting, I didn't use any vignetting for this, but I feel like it's cool sometimes. You could darken the corners. You know, like even if I did, I don't think it's ever good to use a lot of vignetting. Maybe like to like here a tad bit, you could adjust the size. See, it makes it a little bit darker around the ends, and then the feather. And you can also play around with the aspect ratio. So I'm gonna just turn it all the way up so you could have a C. So this one closes in the sides, and the middle looks more, you go negative and close in the tops a little bit. And you got just position X and Y, move it off the subject, move it on the subject. And then horizontally, same thing. But like I said, I didn't use any of it on this. I feel like this looks pretty good, but like I said, we're not gonna use it. So we can just go ahead, turn vignetting off. And then also you can play around with the output lastly. And you know, if you don't want your image to have the full thing, then you could just turn it down a tad bit and still have like a little in between of the natural image and the edited image. But some cool things I found is, so you could click here, I already have one saved, but then you could just title it whatever you want, press OK, save it to your desktop, and it'll be there. Something else I found pretty cool is you go to Snapshot, and you could click the plus button and do it as many times as you want, and you could just choose any one. Let's click this one. And you could just adjust the film profile to see how it look compared to the other one. So let's choose Cinestill. You'll select it, and it changes, and you see that's a different look between this one and this one. So it's still a little bit slow at times, but it gets there. So I think that'll be improved. Also, it could be my MacBook. I have an M1, So maybe that could also change if I upgrade it, but I think that's a pretty unique feature, so you could compare them side by side. And then after that, you can just go ahead, keep your original one, you could delete it, and you close it. So all of these things I found pretty cool. You can stretch the image out, you can zoom in, pressing this button at the top. You can see all of the contrast, the inspector thing that they call it down at the bottom with the colors and tell you, you know, the range of the colors. Like I said, I go off the eye test because if you're new like me, that's how you start. And also it can help you show you clipping, but this image doesn't really have any clipping. And then once again, see on and off. So after this, you just press apply, it'll take you there. Or you can double click it and you can go to this button, the typical save button, click save it to whatever photo you want to save it to. And voila, you have it. So that's the tutorial for Dehancer. They let me use it for 2 months, so shout out to them, and be sure to use code SIN for 10% off. Thank you for watching.